The absence of the Nigerian army and their legal team did not stop the panel from listening to the testimony of Sarah Ibrahim. Sarah, who describes herself as a professional auditor, says she was at the protest ground every day. She tells the panel that the protesters were strategic about staying together in groups for safety purposes.
From that very first day, we had the Lekki toll gate. There were 4 police vans that came. So the protesters, we came together and we gave them their own space. Like, no one went towards them. We were just on our own part of the ground where we usually stay together. So the policemen that particular day wore their gas masks.
Gas mask?
Yes.
Were you armed with gas?
No,
Okay.
they not. So they wore their gas masks and they were approaching the peaceful protesters. So, and they were coming with force in a way to kind of agitate people standing and protesting. So it took intervention of some celebrities that were on ground that day to go over to them and told them not to try anything. Simi Dakolo had to go speak directly, told them that we are not, and you can see we are standing on our own, we are not doing anything. So he suggested we have a chain. So everyone stand in front and hold yourself. So stand on the chain, hold yourself.
Despite the encounter with the security officials, the witness denies that protesters were armed at any point during the protest. On the next adjourned date, Sarah will testify about the events of the 20th of October 2020. In another petition, the panel listened to the cross-examination of the PDP chieftain, Mr. Kenny Okolugbo. At a previous proceeding, he had told the panel that his former tenant, Mr. Emmanuel Okaka, who owed him 4 months' rent, had falsely accused him of unlawful ejection, forceful entry, and stealing. Based on these false allegations, Mr. Okolugbo says he was arrested, brutalized, and charged to court. He's also accused some online media outlets of conniving with 2 police officers to publish false information about the case.
I was taken in the wee hours of the morning when I was not invited or ready for an ongoing matter, and the important thing was that the magistrate court was only entertaining COVID-related patients. I mean, because of COVID, they were only entertaining those in detention. And it was funny that they took me from my comfort of my home to lie that I was in detention.
You agree with me totally that it was the case reported by your former tenant. The police investigate and they charge you to court.
It was not the case. They went beyond the case. They had an ulterior motive. The ulterior motive was because they had blackmailed me into trying to pay 35 million and I didn't pay.
With the petitioner now exonerated and the case struck out on the advice of the DPP, Mr. Okolugbo says the Nigerian police force has greatly damaged his reputation and is asking the panel to recommend the dismissal and prosecution of the 2 police officers. He's also seeking a 30 million naira compensation for the trauma he says he suffered in the hands of the police. Shola Shoyele, Channels.